Did you know that there were 7 laws for teachers? They actually have a book written about it, and students have to read it, and even write reports about this book.
You mean that teachers have laws? I thought that teachers were the ones who made the rules and the students had to follow them. That's so cool. 7 laws, huh?
Yes, and the first law says that teachers have to know what they are teaching. I know I've had some teachers who got up and acted like they knew, but they weren't fooling anyone. They barely knew. And guess what? The students knew that the teacher was just trying to bluff his way through the material. It is great to have a teacher who knows his stuff and terrible when the teacher doesn't. It can get really boring really fast.
And it's embarrassing for the teacher and the students. So, what are the rest of the laws?
Well, Law 2 says that the learner is the one who pays attention to the lesson. Guess that means that if no one is paying attention, then no one is learning. So, the teacher shouldn't even begin until the learner aren't listening.
Yeah, I've had a teacher just stand up in front and watch a class until the students realized that they were talking and talking and talking, and then some kids got quiet, and then others got quiet. Finally, on 1 or 2 people were still talking, and the teacher was waiting to begin. It was kind of embarrassing for the student who was the last one talking.
I guess I don't have to ask who the last person was who was talking?
No, you don't need to ask.
Well, the third law of teaching says that the teacher and the students have to use language that is common to both of them. Have you ever had a teacher use such big words that you had no idea what she was talking about? I sure did. Then I just started doodling on my paper. The teacher thought I was taking notes. Then I started thinking about other stuff. Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, I just sort of slip into a trance with my eyes open. The teacher thinks I'm listening, but I'm really just planning the rest of my day, or thinking about what we did last night.
I don't even want to hear about what you did last night. Do you want to hear about the 4th law of teaching?
Sure, why not? We have to learn this stuff for a test or something, don't we?
Yes, we do. So, the 4th law of teaching says that if a new truth is to be learned, it must be linked with something that the students already know. That's why when we are learning new vocabulary words, it helps to make connections to words that we already understand.
That's what I tried to do in Hebrew and Greek class, but it was still hard.
Of course, learning something new is going to be hard, but the 5th law says that the teacher has to arouse the student's mind, so he wants to learn.
Arouse? It sure is hard to get aroused about some of the things we have to learn in college. Who is ever going to need to know about some of this stuff anyway?
Well, maybe the teacher needs to give the students a reason for wanting to learn the stuff. Anyway, the 6th rule is all about the student. He has to think about the material until he can understand the new idea or truth, until it becomes a habit or a new skill.
So, you are saying that the students have to actually do some studying?
Yes. This part is all up to the student. And the last law of teaching is the part most students really hate the most. If you haven't already guessed, the 7th law is all about testing. It is the test and proof that teaching was done and learning was learned. But before the test comes reviewing, all of that comes before the testing. And here is the part that most students don't know. A teacher, a good teacher anyway, sees the test not just as a way to give a student a grade, but as a way to evaluate his own teaching. If a lot of students miss a certain point, then a good teacher usually has to rethink about the way he taught that part of the lesson.
So, teachers have rules for teaching and someone called them the 7 laws. Who was this guy?
Well, the man who first thought up all of these laws was Milton Gregory. He lived in the 1800s, and you can read all about his laws at the website BibleTeacher.org.
Well, maybe I will look it up, if it will help me get a better grade in this class.
Well, at least now you know something about the 7 laws of teaching. I'm sure we'll all be hearing more about it in this semester. Goodbye.
Goodbye.